You weren't born to be quiet. You weren't made to blend in, shrink down, or tiptoe around your power. You were energy in motion, a walking vibe, a living flame of radiance that the world needs to feel. And no, you don't have to ask permission to shine. You are the glow. You don't need to wait for confidence, you embody it. You don't chase approval, you move like you already own the room, 'cause deep down you do. You are the moment, and it's time the world caught up. Glow isn't something you slap on with highlighter or filter with lighting. Glow is a decision, glow is a frequency. It's the way you talk to yourself in the mirror when no one's watching. It's how you walk when you've just cried and still throw on your favorite outfit like it's armor. It's when you wear your pain like pearls and your past like art. That glow, that's not decoration, it's transformation. Glow is an inner frequency, not external decoration. It's not something you apply, borrow, or fake. It's something you awaken. So many people chase aesthetics, trends, or external validation, thinking those things will light them up. But real radiance isn't found in your clothes, your makeup, or your curated image. It's in how you carry yourself when no one's cheering. It's in the way you speak to yourself when the mirror reflects more pain than perfection. It's how you choose to show up when you're exhausted, unsure, or broken, but still refuse to dim your soul. That kind of glow can't be copied or packaged. It comes from choosing to love yourself again and again, even in the moments where it would be easier to criticize, compare, or collapse. When you start to understand that your glow is a frequency and energetic signature that flows from how aligned you are with your truth, everything shifts. You begin to care less about looking a certain way and more about feeling a certain way. You start to prioritize your peace over performance. You become aware of what elevates your energy and what drains it. That awareness, that's the beginning of real power, because once you realize that your glow depends on your self-connection, not public perception, you stop giving people the power to dim you. You stop shrinking when they don't clap, stop hiding when you're misunderstood, and stop breaking yourself to fit into boxes that were never built for your magic. Real glow doesn't come from applause, it comes from alignment, from doing the inner work to show up in your authenticity even when it's messy, from saying no to what doesn't serve you, from trusting your intuition when logic screams otherwise, from honoring your voice, your body, your boundaries, and your dreams. When you live like that, your glow isn't something you turn on, it's something you embody, and people feel it. They may not know what it is, but they know there's something different about you, something magnetic, something untouchable. You become that woman who doesn't have to compete or convince. She just is. Her peace is radiant. Her energy is sacred. Her presence is a whole atmosphere. Why? Because she's decided that she's enough, not because the world told her so, but because she declared it. That declaration turns into a frequency, a vibration that tells the universe, I am ready to receive. I am ready to rise. I am ready to glow without apology. And the world responds to that energy. Opportunities shift. People change how they treat you. Life begins to mirror back the self-worth you've cultivated internally. There's no makeup, no filter, no brand that can replace that kind of radiance, because it doesn't wash off, it doesn't fade, it's not based on mood or metrics. It's rooted in self-awareness, in healing, in the sacred decision to keep showing up as your highest self even when it's hard. That's the glow that makes people pause. That's the glow that transforms rooms, relationships, and realities. That's the embodied glow born from intention, fueled by authenticity, and sustained by love. So when you find yourself reaching for something outside of you to feel enough, pause, breathe. Remember that your real glow is already in you. It's in your voice, your walk, your silence, your truth. You don't need to search for it, you need to remember it. And once you do, you won't need to prove a thing. Your frequency will do the talking. Your glow will speak louder than words ever could. You embody power by showing up unapologetically. There is a shift that happens the moment you stop seeking permission to be who you are. It's a silent, potent transformation. 1 minute you're doubting your voice, questioning your presence, wondering if you're too much. The next you're reclaiming every part of yourself that you once tried to suppress. That's when your glow ignites, not because you became someone new, but because you finally gave yourself the freedom to be who you always were. Showing up unapologetically isn't about being loud, it's about being rooted in your truth, your values, your energy. It's about walking into a room with a quiet confidence that says, I don't need you to approve of me to know I belong here. Too often, we mold ourselves into versions we think others will accept. We water down our brilliance, edit our thoughts, adjust our tone, all to fit into spaces that were never built to hold our full expression. But power doesn't live in pleasing, it lives in presence. Real presence. The kind that doesn't flinch when misunderstood or shrink when overlooked. The kind that says, this is me and I'm not negotiating who I am to make you comfortable. That presence isn't arrogant, it's sacred. It's the result of deep self-respect. And when you start showing up like that, everything around you starts to reflect your new standard. People respond to the energy you carry about yourself. When you carry yourself with reverence, when you move with the conviction that you are worthy, you become magnetic. Not because you're forcing it, but because you've stopped pretending. You've made a decision that your authenticity is more important than approval. That choice becomes your glow, and it speaks for you even in silence. You don't have to over-explain or justify, your energy does the talking. You become someone who leads without trying, inspires without effort, and influences without chasing. Being unapologetic doesn't mean being rigid, it means being in integrity. It means knowing who you are and being unwilling to trade that for validation. It means trusting your intuition even when it's unpopular. It means setting boundaries even when they disappoint people. It means owning your body, your choices, your story without shame. That kind of embodiment radiates. It teaches others by example. It shifts dynamics. It builds new realities. Because when one woman shows up in her full power, she silently gives others permission to do the same. You don't have to wait until you feel fearless to show up. You just have to choose not to let fear shrink you. Courage isn't the absence of doubt, it's the refusal to let doubt dictate your moves. When you walk with intention, speak with conviction, and move from your truth, even your imperfections glow. People connect to your realness, they feel your fire, they see something in you that reminds them of their own light. This is what it means to embody power, to take up space, to stop apologizing for your emotions, your ambition, your softness, your strength, to wear your fullness like a crown, to know that your existence is not a burden to explain, it's a light to honor. And the more you do that, the more unstoppable you become. Not because you're trying to be perfect, but because you finally stop trying to be anything but yourself. That's the real glow. That's the power that can't be touched. That's the woman who walks in purpose and radiates like a storm and a sunrise all at once. And when she shows up, the world has no choice but to notice. Your past fuels your glow, not dims it. Every heartbreak, every failure, every moment of rejection that once felt like a dead end was actually a spark in disguise. The things that once broke you were never meant to bury you, they were placed in your path to build you. Your glow is not a result of perfection, it's the product of resilience. You didn't rise by avoiding pain, you rose by walking through it with your head held high even when your heart was heavy. That journey, that inner fire that kept you moving, that's what gives your light its depth. It's why your presence carries weight, it's why your silence can speak louder than words. You've been through the fire and now you walk like you were made of it. There's something magnetic about someone who has survived their own storms and still shows up with grace, not because life has been easy, but because they've chosen to glow anyway. That glow is layered, it's textured with growth, shadowed by wisdom, and strengthened by lessons. Your scars are not flaws, they are the proof that you didn't give up. You turned your wounds into wisdom, you turned your pain into a platform, and now you carry a light that can't be dimmed because it wasn't handed to you, it was earned. When people see you shine, they may admire the surface, but they have no idea what it took to get here. They don't see the nights you cried quietly into your pillow. They don't feel the moments when your voice shook but you spoke up anyway. They don't know how many times you felt invisible, forgotten, unworthy, and still chose to show up. That's what makes your glow unshakable. It's not naive, it's seasoned. It knows sorrow and still chooses joy. It's met betrayal and still chooses trust. It's danced with fear and still chose to rise. That kind of glow can't be faked. It can't be replicated. It's authentic because it was forged in truth. Your past didn't make you bitter, it made you bold. You learn how to protect your peace, honor your worth, and walk away from what doesn't grow you. You stop begging to be chosen because you realize you already are, by yourself, by life, by purpose. And now that you've reclaimed your narrative, you no longer carry shame for the things that once hurt you. You wear your past like art. You speak of it with power. You embody the lesson, not the loss. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Don't regret the path that shaped you. It gave you tools no one can teach. It gave you empathy. It gave you discernment. It taught you how to sit in your darkness and still believe in your light. That's not weakness, that's power. That's the glow people feel when you walk in. That's the energy that says, I've been through the storm and I've decided to be the sunshine anyway. That's what separates you. That's what elevates you. Your glow doesn't need to be explained. It just needs to be embraced. You are not broken. You are built. You are not fragile. You are forged. Your story is your strength, and your journey is your glow. Every chapter, every scar, every stumble gave you something that the polished version of life never could: depth. And now you move with wisdom. You radiate with intention. You inspire with presence, because you know without a doubt that your past wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. And now you're glowing from a place that no one can touch. Confidence is not performed, it's lived. It's not something you put on like a costume or rehearse like a script. Real confidence is quiet, rooted, and unshakable. It doesn't need to prove itself or seek approval. It exists because you've done the work to trust yourself, to know your worth, and to move in alignment with your truth. You don't have to act confident when you are confident. You just live it. You breathe it. You show up and let your energy do the talking. There's nothing forced, nothing exaggerated, just authenticity in motion. People often confuse performance with power. They think being loud, being seen, being in control means confidence. But confidence isn't about noise, it's about presence. It's how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. It's how you speak to yourself when you're alone with your thoughts. It's how you handle silence, rejection, uncertainty, and still stand tall. Confidence is the decision to keep showing up as your full self, even when you don't feel 100%. It's not perfection, it's permission to be real, raw, human, and still walk with your head held high. When you live your confidence, you stop needing applause to feel validated. You stop seeking permission to take up space. You stop adjusting who you are to fit what others expect. Instead, you become deeply grounded in your own essence. You know what you bring to the table, so you don't beg to sit at someone else's. You understand that your value doesn't increase because someone finally sees it. It's already there, always has been, and you act accordingly. You move from a place of self-knowing, not self-doubt. There's nothing louder than a woman who trusts herself. Not because she has all the answers, but because she knows she can handle whatever comes. That's what living confidence looks like. It's in the way you walk into a room and don't scan it to see who's judging you. It's in the way you say no without explaining. It's in the way you follow your intuition even if no one else understands. It's in the way you own your beauty, your brilliance, your energy without feeling the need to downplay it. Confidence is in the choices you make every day to honor yourself. Choosing rest when your body is tired. Choosing to speak up when your voice trembles. Choosing to forgive yourself for mistakes and love yourself through growth. Choosing to trust that you are enough. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Every one of those decisions builds a foundation, a frequency, a presence, and that presence becomes undeniable. People will feel it. They may not always like it, but they'll feel it. Because when you stop performing and start living your confidence, you disrupt the norm. You stop being easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to define. You become your own force, and that kind of power makes waves. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you've stopped trying altogether. You've started being. That's the difference. Living your confidence means you don't need to announce your worth. You embody it. You're not waiting for the spotlight. You are the light. You're not competing. You're flowing. And in that flow, you unlock something deeper than self-esteem. You unlock self-trust. And with self-trust, there's no limit to how far you can go. You don't have to hustle to prove anything. You just keep showing up as you. And in doing that, you become the embodiment of confidence itself, not as a show, but as a lifestyle. Your energy introduces you before your words do. Long before you speak, explain, or present yourself, people feel you. They feel your presence. They feel your frequency. They feel the confidence, or the hesitation radiating from your body language, your eye contact, your silence. That's why true glow isn't about what you say. It's about how you carry your energy. It's the invisible aura that enters the space before your physical body arrives. And the beautiful part, you control that energy. You can shape it, strengthen it, and shift it with intention. When you begin to understand that your energy is your first language, you start becoming more intentional with what you're communicating without words. Are you moving like you believe in yourself? Are you walking with purpose, with pride, with presence? Are you rooted in your worth even when no one acknowledges it? Your energy doesn't lie. It will always reflect the truth of how you feel about yourself. And when you glow from within, when you stand in your light unapologetically, that energy speaks volumes before you ever open your mouth. Energy is magnetic. People are drawn to clarity, to conviction, to authenticity. When your energy is grounded, people feel safe around you. When it's passionate, they feel inspired. When it's open, they feel seen. But if your energy is desperate, doubtful, or chaotic, they'll pick up on that too, even if your words sound confident. That's why the inner work matters. You can't fake energy, you can't rehearse it or script it. It comes from alignment. It comes from deciding again and again that your presence is powerful and you are worthy of being felt. You don't need to be the loudest to be impactful. Sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one who speaks the least but carries the most grounded energy. You've met people like that. Their calm speaks louder than chaos. Their silence demands more attention than noise. That's not an accident. That's energetic embodiment. That's someone who has cultivated a deep inner sense of self, someone who knows that their essence is the message. You are sending messages constantly without even realizing it. The way you sit, the way you move, the way you make eye contact, the way you hold space for others, all of it speaks. So what is your energy saying? Is it saying, I trust myself, or I hope you accept me? Is it saying, I know who I am, or I need your approval to feel valid? The more you align your energy with your truth, the more effortless your glow becomes. And when that alignment happens, there's no need to prove, impress, or perform. You simply radiate. That's why protecting your energy is not optional, it's essential. You can't pour from a drained cup and expect to shine. You have to know what uplifts you, what dims you, what triggers you, and what restores you. You have to learn to set energetic boundaries, to walk away from environments that distort your frequency, to choose solitude when the world feels too loud. You have to treat your energy like the currency it is, because it attracts what you experience. When you start leading with your energy, everything changes. People respond differently. Opportunities shift. The right connections find you without you forcing them. You become a magnet, not because of effort, but because of embodiment. Because your presence becomes the invitation. Because your energy whispers what your mouth doesn't have to say. I am here. I am whole. I am the glow, and I don't need to say a word to prove it. You inspire by being, not teaching. The most powerful lessons are not delivered through lectures, instructions, or commands. They're demonstrated through presence, through how you move, how you live, how you love. When you embody the energy of your truth, you automatically become a lighthouse for others. You don't need to explain your journey for it to be meaningful. You don't need to convince anyone to follow you. Just by being fully yourself, you give others permission to do the same. That's the quiet influence of authenticity. It speaks louder than any performance could. We live in a world that glorifies constant advice, noise, and instruction, but real leadership, true inspiration, doesn't come from knowing the most or talking the loudest. It comes from living in alignment. It comes from walking in your own frequency so confidently that others feel encouraged to rise into theirs. You become the evidence that healing is possible, that growth is real, that softness can coexist with power. You don't need a title to mentor. You don't need a stage to be seen. When you embody the glow, you are already doing the work. You are already leading. People are watching more than they're listening. They observe your resilience when life challenges you. They notice how you treat yourself when no one's around. They feel your energy when you enter a space, and they're influenced by your ability to remain rooted in your truth. That's why your glow is more impactful than any words you could ever speak, because it's real. It's consistent. It's embodied. You inspire through how you carry your pain and still choose peace, through how you rise from failure and still choose joy, through how you stand in your light and refuse to apologize for it. That's what makes you a mentor, not what you say, but what you model. When people see you honoring your boundaries, loving yourself out loud, pursuing your goals without shrinking, they feel something wake up inside them. Your authenticity challenges their fear. Your glow reminds them of their own light. You become the mirror that reflects what they forgot they were capable of. Not because you told them, because you showed them. That's the beauty of being. It's effortless. It doesn't require performance. It just requires you to be honest, intentional, and aligned. There's a quiet power in showing up every day as your real self, in choosing truth over trend, in choosing integrity over image. That's how you leave a mark. That's how your presence becomes transformational. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be real. People are not inspired by perfection. They're inspired by the courage to be real in a world that constantly pressures us to perform. When you understand this, everything shifts. You stop trying so hard to be impressive and start focusing on being intentional. You stop needing validation and start embodying value. And in that shift, you become magnetic. Not because of your words, but because of your walk. Your life becomes the message. Every choice, every boundary, every glow up becomes part of your story that others can feel without needing you to explain it. So don't underestimate your presence. Don't second guess your impact. You are inspiring someone right now just by choosing yourself, just by not giving up, just by glowing without apology. You don't have to teach. You don't have to preach. You just have to be. Be the woman who shows up in her truth. Be the woman who lives her light. And trust that being her is more powerful than anything you could ever say.